The 60 Minutes interview was a great chance to hear Harry and Meghan's story in case you missed their 2-hour sit-down with Oprah or their 6-part Netflix documentary.
Place in microwave. What is microwave? I don't think we have any of that. Harry, do we have any microwave?
Are you fucking dumb?
It's a microwave, silly.
Don't talk to me like that, you bitch! I'm a fucking duchess! Shake that off!
Oh!
Damn! Harry, get your limey ginger ass down here and clear this up!
Prince Harry, whose memoir just broke the Guinness record for fastest-selling nonfiction book of all time. They're now releasing a version for kids. I don't know if you know about this. It's a twist on The Princess and the Pea. It's called The Prince and the Penis, and it's, What the fuck?
Jimmy Kimmel just did what most of Hollywood won't dare. He destroyed Harry and Meghan on live television. When Harry's memoir broke the Guinness record for fastest selling nonfiction book, Kimmel didn't celebrate it. He mocked it. He turned the whole thing into a children's book parody called The Prince and the Penis, making it a joke on primetime network TV. But Kimmel didn't stop there. He went after Harry's looks too, comparing him to Screech, that goofy, awkward character nobody wants to look like.
And by the way, they should hope that the kid looks more like Meghan than Harry. No offense, but Harry kind of looks like the guy who played Screech, may he rest in peace.
But that was nothing compared to what came next. Kimmel called out the whole racism narrative, pointing out how ridiculous it was that they fled to America, of all places, to escape racism.
Harry said racism was a big part of their decision to leave, which you know things are bad at Buckingham Palace if they came to America to get away from racism.
Harry and Meghan wanted out, so they threw his own family under the bus and called them racist to justify the move. And that's when everything changed. Jimmy Kimmel opened the floodgates and the entire entertainment industry started piling on. But here's where it gets dark. Spitting Image, who've been mocking Meghan and Harry for years, got sued. Yes, you heard that right. They got sued for making jokes on the internet. All their videos, gone. Fully scrubbed. And we might know exactly who was behind that lawsuit. We'll get to that story soon, but first, you need to see how the late night world turned on them. Starting with Jimmy Fallon, who went straight for Meghan's bizarre pretzel bag obsession, where she takes pretzels from one bag and puts them in another, like it's some revolutionary lifestyle hack.
What is the #1 question that mystifies scientists?
Is there life on another planet?
Oh no, why does Meghan Markle make her own pretzel bags? They don't know why.
That's interesting. She takes it from one bag and puts it in another bag.
It's another bag.
And that confuses people.
This, we're just gonna put into a different bag.
It was peak out-of-touch rich person behavior, and the internet noticed. Social media influencers saw an opportunity and started creating parody videos of Meghan's Netflix lifestyle content. They mocked her repackaging snacks into fancy bags like it was some sort of accomplishment.
Take the snack out of one bag and then move them into another bag and then label this new bag, even though this bag already has a label on it.
Then they went after her ridiculous water preparation ritual, complete with flower petals, because tap water apparently isn't good enough.
How I prepare water for my guests. Some water that I got from the spring in my backyard. Whatever you do, don't use tap water. I'm just gonna sneak a taste. You flower petal. H is always calling water water.
And of course, the performative flower arranging where she talks about telling a story as if anyone actually cared.
Any type of flower arranging is just telling a story. What story do you want to tell? Maybe leave the country. Maybe disown your dad. Be creative with it.
These weren't just random internet trolls. These were content creators with millions of followers turning Meghan into a meme. The pretzel bag thing became iconic for all the wrong reasons. But the American comedians were just warming up. The British, they were throwing haymakers. Jimmy Carr opened with a question nobody dared ask out loud. How exactly does a lifelong feminist end up quitting her job to marry into royalty?
I said Meghan Markle is, of course, a lifelong feminist, which she's demonstrated by marrying a prince and giving up her job.
The hypocrisy was too good to ignore. And then Carr went for the kill shot, bringing up the one thing Harry probably wishes everyone would forget.
The royal family, right, if you can imagine, they're like our Kardashian. Prince Harry is very much our Kanye. He occasionally dresses as a Nazi, and he f***ed up.
The Nazi costume. It always comes back to the Nazi costume. But at least Carr was being funny about it because Simon Brodkin wasn't even trying to be polite anymore. He sat down, watched their entire Netflix documentary like a good little viewer, thinking maybe he'd finally get their perspective. Big mistake.
I watched the Harry and Meghan Netflix documentary. Now, I'll be honest with you, before I watched it, I was not a fan of theirs. But now I've actually heard their side of the story, I f***ing hate them.
That's the effect they have on people. You go in with an open mind, ready to hear them out, and you leave actively hating them more than before. It's almost impressive.
They started off and they're making interesting points about racism and misogyny. Then they start calling each other H&M, and I just thought, oh, do fuck off.
They had legitimate points to make about racism and misogyny, real issues that deserve serious discussion, and then they ruined it by making it about their cute couple nicknames and personal grievances. The self-awareness was non-existent.
They were complaining that to pay for their own security. They were not happy about that. Yeah, they were very worried about their safety, which I get that aspect of things. After 6 episodes, I wanted to attack them.
Imagine making a documentary so annoying that viewers fantasize about being the security threat. That's the level of insufferable we're dealing with here. Then Kelly Osbourne entered the chat, and she wasn't here to play nice. She called out Harry's constant victim routine like she was reading him for filth.
I think Harry's a f***ing twat. He's a whining, whinging, complaining, woe is me, I'm the only one that's ever had mental problems.
Everyone's got problems, Harry. You're not special. And then she brought up the elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about.
Like, my life was so hard. Everybody's f***ing life is hard.
Yeah,
you were the prince of a goddamn country who dressed up as a f***ing Nazi, and now you're trying to come back as the Pope? Suck it.
You can't dress as a Nazi for Halloween and then rebrand yourself as a humanitarian. It doesn't work that way. The British public wasn't just done with them, they were disgusted. But the roasting didn't stop there. It escalated to one of the most watched platforms in comedy, Saturday Night Live. They went after Harry and Meghan in a way that felt uncomfortably accurate.
My brother's fiance, Miss Meghan Markle, is on the American program Suits.
Yes, Wednesdays, 8 p.m, USA Network.
The only difference between that show and this is people watch this one.
That's a direct shot at Meghan's acting career. The implication? Nobody actually watched Suits. The audience laughed, and you know Harry saw this. But the roasting didn't stop there. SNL kept going.
Whenever the kids are being fussy and not going to bed, she puts on an episode of Suits and they're out. So, what are you doing? Ow! Stop it! Stop it!
Using Meghan's show as a sleep aid for kids. That's brutal. But the embarrassment reached new levels when Trevor Noah brought up something that still makes people cringe.
Prince Harry really did that. At a movie premiere last year, he asked the CEO of Disney to hook his wife up with voiceovers.
This is what it's come to. A prince networking at movie premieres for his wife's voiceover career. The monarchy used to arrange political alliances through marriage.
You gotta admit, the monarchy has fallen off, right? No, because back in the day, it used to be like, if you marry my daughter, I'll give you Burgundy.
Kingdoms and territories were once on the table. Now it's Disney gigs and podcast deals.
And now it's like, my wife actually does a pretty good Timon. You should hear her. Come on, baby, do the thing. Hakuna Matata, do the thing.
The downgrade is almost tragic, and their Netflix content became pure meme material. Family Guy perfectly captured the absurdity of their whole situation.
Sir, your millions from Netflix for no one knows what.
Put it with the rest of them.
Babe, time to do our daily $250,000 sponsored Instagram post for Del Taco.
I shouldn't have left the made-up nonsense.
Millions from Netflix for content nobody can define. Sponsored posts worth more than most people's yearly salary. And remember that puppet show we mentioned? The one that got banned? We're about to show you what got them in trouble. But first, you need to hear what one comedian said that makes everything else look tame. Some comedians stopped making jokes and started saying what everyone else was too afraid to say. And nobody went harder than Godfrey. He went straight for the biggest narrative Meghan and Harry built their entire brand on.
She's like, I can't believe they were racist. Wait, the whitest family on the planet, the original motherfuckers.
Meghan acting shocked that the royal family would have questions about race is laughable. They're literally the most historically white family in existence. What does she expect? But here's where it gets interesting. Godfrey admitted something that everyone was thinking, but nobody would say.
They wanted to know what color the kid would be. I did too. I was like, he's gonna be super, super light skinned? What black will we see? We all wanted to know.
That's not racism, that's basic human curiosity. But Meghan turned normal questions into ammunition for her victim story. And Godfrey wasn't done. He saw right through her latest interview with Jamie Kern Lima, where Meghan once again played the busy, overwhelmed Duchess card.
Meg does her little phony like, I'm so busy just doing like so much wealthy stuff. I have the show, the podcast, I'm a duchess, I have all this wealth. It's just so many busy things as a wealthy person.
So busy?
It was so fake. I was like, oh.
The fake photos, the performative busyness, the podcast nobody listens to, the Duchess title she clings to while trashing the institution that gave it to her, it was all so transparent, but the mockery extended beyond just comedians calling out their bullshit. Even people in their own social circles started distancing themselves. Remember when Meghan went to that yoga studio and suddenly it became a whole thing?
Is this true? Meghan Markle has ruined your workout regime. Is this true? If so, how?
Yes, she has.
How?
Meghan can't do anything without it becoming a spectacle. Even a simple workout turns into a PR opportunity.
Well, she came into New York last weekend.
Yeah.
And she went to a yoga place called Moto Yoga, which is my yoga place. It's where I always go.
She had her own quiet spot to decompress, and then Meghan showed up and turned it into a circus.
They have places in LA and New York, but now that she went there, everyone's going to want to go there.
Right.
And there's not going to be any room. It's going to be harder to get into.
That's the Meghan effect. Everything she touches becomes about her, and everyone around her suffers for it. The resentment wasn't just from comedians anymore, it was everywhere. Now for the moment you've been waiting for, the clips that were too brutal to stay online. Spitting Image, the legendary British satire show, created what might be the most savage takedown of Meghan's Netflix show ever filmed, and then it mysteriously disappeared. Most of their videos about Meghan and Harry were scrubbed from their YouTube channel after alleged legal pressure. They even made a video addressing what happened.
Today, we bow our heads in memory of the fallen.
More episodes have been removed from YouTube.
So what was so brutal that it had to be erased? This entire mockery was aimed at her Netflix show, With Love, Meghan, and they absolutely destroyed it.
I'm Meghan Sussex, and I'm a good person. And I'm meeting another good person today, the wonderful Ariana Grande.
Oh my God, Meghan, you're such a good person.
Yes, that's why I'm going to talk to you like you're an idiot.
With Love, Meghan was supposed to be this warm, authentic lifestyle show. Spitting Image turned it into a masterclass in performative nonsense.
I'm preparing my guests some soul food that my British husband calls a packet of crisps. Can be a tricky dish to master, especially when a packet is being a fucking bitch. Oh my God, you've been knocked down by the crisps. So vulnerable. I love it.
I'm just down here holding space.
And now, the finishing touches. A flower.
The soul food moment perfectly captures what the show actually was, taking ordinary things and repackaging them as premium lifestyle content. A packet of crisps becomes an event when Meghan touches it.
Like and subscribe to learn how to breathe, how as a finishing touch, sticking flowers on anything means you made it with love, and I share the secret to a happy marriage. Fuck's sake, H! Don't make me get the electric color out.
Sorry, love. I think my arm's gone dead.
They mocked every aspect of the show, the breathwork tutorials, the flower arrangements, the constant need to make everything feel aspirational and expensive.
Hold it steady, you ginger pots! Hello, followers. You know little old me is a high-profile, high-success, global brand-creating, vulnerable, and humble business leader. Which means I no longer have time for my lifestyle show, which was such a hit that I'm now in talks with Netflix to pivot to 6 seasons of no more episodes. I've decided my time is better spent doing less, and so I'll be coming on here to patronize you through your phone.
And this is where it gets brutal. They expose the contradiction at the heart of With Love, Meghan, a show that failed so badly she's now pivoting to doing less content while calling it growth. Personally, I believe Meghan and Harry were somehow involved in the ban. We all saw how they tried to scare off South Park when they dropped the Worldwide Privacy Tour episode, but South Park creators were unfazed because they're too big. That's not the case for Spitting Image. They're easier to pressure, easier to silence. And conveniently, all this content disappeared. You just saw what they didn't want you to see. So what does all this mean for their future? I think they're digging their own graves. Every lawsuit, every attempt to silence critics, every tone-deaf lifestyle product just makes people dislike them more. They had a chance to rebuild, to be genuine, and they chose performative victimhood instead. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below and subscribe for more royal drama.